Hey, what's up you guys? It's Gage. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button please. It would mean the world to me. Today I'm going to be talking about dating somebody who is closeted and my personal experience of dating somebody who is closeted. So without further ado, let's jump right into this video. I came out as gay in March of 2013, and by July of that same year, I had already been seeing somebody who was closeted. So with me recently coming out and not knowing much about the gay culture or being exposed to the gay culture or having known anybody who was really gay at the time, I figured dating somebody who was closeted wouldn't be a big deal, and I was completely wrong about that. Now, I'm not saying all relationships will end badly if one of you is closeted and one of you isn't. I'm just saying it was very unhealthy for me, and I can't see it being very healthy for a lot of people. So I met this guy at a mall, and this was after about 2 weeks of talking on a dating app. And for anybody that knows me, that is way too soon. I usually take my time when it comes to dating or meeting anybody off the internet for that matter. We met, we walked around the mall for a bit. We walked around like outside of the mall, and then we walked to a ravine and we went down in this ravine. And looking back now, I could have been murdered, but that wasn't the case because I'm still here making this video. So during this date, we didn't hold hands, we didn't kiss, we did none of it. Like no contact whatsoever. It just looked like we were walking around. And at the time, I wasn't like very flamboyant yet because I was still coming out of the closet. I guess you could say I was always wearing sweats, but not like the stylish sweats I wear now. You could tell looking back, but not, I wasn't over the top gay yet, and I'm not over the top gay now, but I mean, you know what I mean, like I wasn't out. On the date, he tells me he's not out and nobody knows, like not his family, not his friends, nobody knew, nobody. Like even on his dating profile, he only had one photo. The account was Badoo, and I don't know how Badoo works today, but at the time you could just appear on the site, like it didn't show, like you can have your preferences privated, I think, at the time. And it didn't say if he liked men or women, but like if you match with that person, it matches. So kind of like Tinder, you couldn't see if they were into men or women. So skip to maybe the third date or so, and we went back to my place and we played video games. And for anybody that knows me too, like this relationship was odd. I think it's because it was my first like serious relationship, and we didn't like who the hell invites somebody back on the third date? I don't know, maybe, I don't know. He comes back to my place after the third date, and we start playing video games, and we eventually kissed. Now, kissing and holding hands was a thing we only did in my room, like at my place. Cause I was living with my mom and my grandma at the time together, and I never came out to my grandma. Yeah, she just assumed it was one of my friends and we were playing like video games in my room or something. I'll make a whole other video on that maybe sometime, but not right now. So my mom knew I was gay and who I was seeing, and she had met this guy a couple times. She said hi here and there, but it was never like, we're gonna sit down at the table, we're gonna have a conversation and learn more about you. And he was totally fine with my mom knowing that he was gay because he was over at my house and everything, and he was fine with that because he knew his parents didn't know anybody that he knew, so like, you know what I mean, like there was no way of knowing. So like when he would leave my place, like he would give me a kiss goodbye and all that and whatnot, but when we were in public, it was a completely different story. Like it was nothing in public, like not even a hug, not even like just nothing. Like he didn't want any type of contact with me at all in public unless we were just like talking, walking down the street. That was it, like nothing else. So like I said at first, I never really had a problem with it until it eventually started to bug me. I remember we went to the zoo together, and we literally hid behind a bush to kiss because he didn't want to be seen by anybody. And when you're not completely comfortable with who you are, I get that, but it affects the other person too. Now you're probably looking at it as like I was peer pressuring him into coming out, but I was never like, you have to come out or I'm gonna break up with you. Like I've told some of my friends that have come out after me, you only come out once, so do it when you're good and ready. And that was the advice I also got from Kevin when I came out. I told him about that, like you don't have to come out, like come out when you're ready. Like just come out when you're ready. As someone who was closeted before, I would never want to be outed myself, so I get that 100%. So for the entirety of our relationship, which was 3 months, we did not hold hands, we did not kiss, no contact whatsoever in public, like ever. So this was the year I was going into college from high school, and the guy that I was seeing had already gone to the school. Like he had 1 year left at the college I was going to, and because he was 2 years older than me. So I never really saw him at school. We would still see each other though. It would usually be at my place though, and we would play video games, kiss, and all that fun stuff. Skip to the end of September, and he was distancing himself from me, and I was like, what? What's going on, buddy? I saw him at the bus stop one time, like at our school, and he was heading home, and I walked up to him and all we said was hi, and we were like chatting a little bit. And then he was with one of his classmates, and he never introduced me as his boyfriend. He just introduced me as a friend or like a classmate, I can't remember, but it wasn't boyfriend for sure. Then we got onto the bus. Then we ended up transferring at a certain stop and we went our separate ways. So about a week after of not hearing from him, I saw him on the bus on my way home from school one day, and I said, hey, how are you? And he was like, hey, I'm good, how are you? And I said, I'm fine. And then I put in my headphones and he put in his headphones, and we just went our separate ways and we never talked again until a couple years later, but that was a whole other thing. So looking back now, we both had different views, different opinions, different outlooks on things, and I can see it wouldn't have worked. Like, just we're too different for each other. It just wouldn't have worked. So we met up a few years later, and it was probably near the beginning when I started vlogging. But we met up and he told me he was out to a couple friends now, which I was very happy about. He hadn't come out to his family yet. But I mean, it takes time. It does take time. I think he also wanted to part ways at the time because I had been out for a couple months and I was becoming more gay, if that makes sense. But if you're watching this now, you know who you are. I hope you're doing well. So that's my experience of dating somebody who is closeted, and how, I don't know how I handled it. I wouldn't say it's very healthy for the person who's not closeted. I don't think you should hide a relationship, and I think it does affect the other person, and I think you need to be, I think it's 50-50. You need to be respectful of the person who has not come out yet. They only come out once in their lifetime, and they need to do that when they're good and ready. And I think it's also not fair to the person who is not closeted because they feel like they still have to hide themselves even though they've come out. Yeah, I feel like it's just not good to be dating somebody who's closeted. However, I feel it is good to talk to somebody who's out and see their opinions and their views of what it's like to come out, because before I came out, I definitely did my research, and I grew up in an environment where I knew if I came out, I would have people there for me, and I've never had that one person yet be like, I'm leaving you because you're gay. I've just never had that yet, and I don't want to ever experience that, but it might happen to me one day, and I know a lot of people do experience it. I don't know if any of you have dated somebody who is closeted, but let me know your story. I would love to hear it down in the comment section below. Yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. And remember, guys, at the end of the day, there's always a reason to smile. Bye, guys. Watch out.